Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the Style Table, where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style. Hey everybody, it's Yo Taylor back here at the Style Table. I'm here with Cassandra Willis. She's the CEO of Basic Concepts, LLC. She's here to talk about her business and her style. Welcome to the show, Cassandra.
Thank you.
So please tell us, what is Basic Concepts?
Basic Concepts is a small business consulting firm. We work with small business and nonprofit organizations. And so what we do, we help small businesses develop their business plans and bylaws to help them become, certified or, listed as a certifiable business in their state. And with the nonprofit organizations, we help them to develop their nonprofit organization where they can receive grants, and they are able to also be established as a business, LLC. We help them also with bylaws and business plans as well. Then we also offer life business coaching. We help them to understand where they are, to, break up the fear, that they may have. A lot of them come with a lot of fear because it's a new entity for them. They just came with a great idea but didn't know where to start. So what I do in the business, I'm the first person you speak with. I carry you through intense consultation to find out, really, are you absolutely sure that this is what you want to do? And a lot of times I find out that they actually belong in a different arena. And so what we do is I say, well, no, it doesn't mean you can't start the business. We're just going to take you in a different direction. And they end up being like, oh, wow, I didn't know that this is where I really was supposed to be. So that's what we do. We kind of help get people on track and make sure that they have all the components, especially with the nonprofit, when they want to go to the table to receive grants for their organization. So they have everything in place, and they're, so they don't get turned away. And that is my main goal. And so far, I've been pretty successful with the clients that I have served, that they go with the full package and they don't have to worry about going back to the table and, trying to recreate or add to what they need.
So I would imagine you might be a person who thinks, I'm going to start this business, and you help people maybe even realize, maybe you might want to think about doing this more as a nonprofit or vice versa.
Absolutely. That's exactly the way it goes. Or sometime that they might say, I want to do a women's shelter or a women's program, and find out that they should be doing something totally opposite because they see a lot of times we as human nature, we have sometimes the habit of following someone else's, footsteps, instead of saying what I really want to do, what you are drawn to, what excites you, what's your passion. My main thing is that anything you talk about the most is usually what you're called to do. Anything that you that moves you emotionally is usually what you speak to, because you are more affected by it than the average person. So that's what I do. I go real deep and I ask questions that they're not expecting, and I kind of get them to open up a little bit and find out that they are really supposed to be doing, if they're trying to do a women's program, you're supposed to be doing a daycare. or you're supposed to be doing, a bakery or something, because they keep talking about their passion. And it doesn't have anything to do with the ideas of running a women's shelter or a veteran house or things of that nature. I help them get them on track and say, stay in this lane. This is where you belong. Let's focus on this. And I said, because it doesn't make a difference whether you do the veteran house or the women's home or the bakery, but we're going to make sure you're doing what is right for you. So you don't get bored and you don't end up jumping ship and you've started this whole big program and now you're bored and you want to move on to something else because it didn't turn out to be what you wanted. But when it's your passion, you're going to treat it like it's a baby and you're going to nurture it and you're going to make sure that it flourishes and that it be everything that you dreamed of.
I totally agree with that because I've tried to start other businesses and my Bestie, who's also was my business coach, she said, no one is on the treadmill watching fashion shows for all this time. This is what you do. This is you talk fashion, you talk clothes, you talk about making women feel beautiful and you love being a part of that. That's you. That's who you are. And I said, you're right. And I do love it. I do love my new career of being a wardrobe strategist. It was perfect.
Yeah, you have to have that love for what you do, and I, like I said before, it's usually what you talk about the most is how you're going to build your life around that. Even if you branch off into something else, you're going to always come back to fashion because that is your first love. That is what you talk about. That is what you live for. No matter what avenue you go down or what direction you take it, it's going to be who you are. Because I come out of the beauty industry as a hairstylist. I was a master stylist. I don't care how far I tried to get away from it. That's what people remember me as the most. That's what I know. That's all I know, even though I love, leveled up to other areas, education wise and things of that nature. But hair is who I am, is what I know, and is how people identify themselves with me, in the beauty industry. But, I tried my hand at corporate and, different things like that. But I was also an entrepreneur in the beauty industry as well. That's why I'm able to help others because I started my business pretty much myself. I didn't get help. I had to sit down and come up with a plan, on what to do, walk into the building, have this vision of, I see this over here, I see that over there, and it was like, how do you do that? But when you're a visionary, things come together. So you're going to always, fall back on your passion, no matter what you try to put your hand into that takes you away from who you really are. So fashion is who you are, and you can't get away from it. So,
And so now with this consulting business, I'm assuming you still have your hand in the beauty industry as well.
No, not as much as I used to. I used to go back and forth, but when I went into the corporate world, in the beauty industry, it led me to doing what I do now and an extension of who I am. So I try to keep everything in alignment, with what I do. So in the beauty industry, that's when I found out I was a speaker. I had no idea that speaking was my forte, one of the gifts that God has given me. And I learned it from another associate that was teaching a class for Clairol. And I kept wondering why he would stand at my door. He was saying, you're a dynamic speaker. I keep rushing through my process to send them to your class. So I was like, okay. So as time went on and I started working for another chain salon business. And I was a master stylist for them. And one of my clients came in and she was working with the National HUD organization. And she kept saying, I keep hearing something else in you. We were having a discussion and she said, is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? I says, well, this is what I've been doing since I was 15 years old, full time, is working in a beauty salon. And she said, but I keep hearing something else. So she said, if I offer you an opportunity, would you take it? She said, I have to go to this big, huge meeting. And when I come back, she says, they're going to give me this major project and I'm going to need help. And she says, and I believe that you're going to be perfect. So when she came back, she called. She said, I have this opportunity. Would you take it? And I ended up, my first 2 business trips was Orlando, Florida and Phoenix, Arizona, training brokers in the real estate business, and which I had no idea, but they trained me and I had to speak to these people, and train them and things like that. So the more I did it, I found out that speaking was one of my now abilities, gifts that I needed to focus on, and so then as far as the business, that also was something that I incorporated with that, because if I'm not speaking, then I can also be helping people, in the industry.
Okay, so that's awesome. That's awesome. So you had natural talents on top of your passion, but you just realized that you're going to work with your natural talents and switch gears, because we can't switch gears because we have multiple gifts, like you said.
Yes.
And so this is the stage where you are focused more on being on stage, talking to people, doing presentations. Now, with that, let's talk about your style. Now, I know you're a world traveler. I know you've lived abroad. We've discussed that you lived in Ghana. How does that affect how you show up when you do your presentations? Do you dress according to, because you're a creative, you're a professional, but you are also a creative. How do you marry those two looks when you do your presentation?
It's kind of interesting that you introduced it that way, got in the conversation, because I dress according to the event, or, where I'm going, what I'm doing. And even with fragrance, I put my fragrance on. What fragrance I wear is based upon where I'm going and my outfit. And so, in Ghana, of course, being in, an Afrocentric, environment, the culture, I pretty much try to keep my dress more so in alignment with where I was. And so, like now I'm like boho chic. That's what I call it.
Boho chic. Yeah.
Boho chic. I didn't know if it was a real thing.
Yes, it's a real thing. Boho chic. I love it.
Because I like to be comfortable, but I still like it to be stylish. And, and I kind of line everything up, to try to, fall into place. But I'm a very, I guess, sophisticated, casual, I kind of fall in all categories, because I'm a person that, they say I'm kind of unpredictable. They don't know what you're going to get when I step out, but it's going to look good. But right now, I'm kind of into the boho chic thing,
Okay.
I'm in that comfortable mode right now, but I do dress according to the occasion.
So with nonprofits, do you find that people are in, because I find nonprofits, their style is a little more conservative and understated, because they're focused on the work.
Yes. They're very casual. They're very casual. It's always jeans, T-shirts, things of that nature. Because I've worked in several different nonprofit organizations. That's why I decided to focus the business geared towards nonprofit, because I understand how it works, because I've actually worked in them. You know, a lot of women in crisis. I did a lot of, I worked for the National Black MBA Association as their event coordinator, working with after school, teenage children in an after school program, and helping them to understand how business works. So I can, I've been doing this for a minute, back and forth with the nonprofit. So yeah, they dress very casual.
Mhm.
They try to identify with the community.
Right.
Because know who's coming in that may not be where you are, and I tell people,
Exactly.
and I always judge a book by its cover. So, even though they may look like, they don't have two pennies to rub together, they may have come from a very established environment, but life took its toll on them.
Absolutely. Life can change in a minute, especially for women.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one standard of living, you end up divorced.
Yes.
A woman's income goes down 25%.
Mm-hmm.
She has a child. There's so many things that can change your life.
Yes, I went
And
through
it's very humbling.
I went through it. I went through a divorce, and it just because I depended on my ex-husband, my husband at the time, his job was moving him around.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to end up putting my car, because I was at a place where I was very independent, but it got to the point where the security was questionable because he was constantly moving. So we were moving a lot. So I had to put my cars and things in his name. So I wouldn't, because I had to reinvent myself every move because my job wasn't taking me to where he was going. I had to always find out if I could do my job in the cities where we were going, or states where we were going. And so it became very, very challenging when it got to the point where things came to an end. I had to realize that, oh my God, I had put almost my entire life in this man's hands. And so
Right.
it's hard when you're starting over by yourself because you're used to someone else, having more control or taking care of your necessities, things that you took for granted. Now you have to do it all. You got to do everything. And so it's very challenging, when you in those type of situations and working with women in crisis. I saw a lot of that.
And that's why organizations like Dress for Success and help women who are reimagining themselves. They have to start over. They've had a loss.
Mm-hmm.
They can go in and have clothes to make them feel confident and remind them of the fabulous powerhouses and intelligent
Absolutely.
women that they really are.
Absolutely.
I love that organization. I love that. I mean, when people donate their clothes, I'm a big proponent for donating your clothes because you're doing a lot of good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You are doing a lot of good. I would even say battered women's shelters because women are escaping violence and they're running with the clothes on their back.
Yes.
It's nice to be able to walk into a place that's safe, that also has something for you to put on to as a new shield, as your new set of armor, that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Clothes do a lot.
Oh,
They do a lot for a person.
Absolutely. Dress for Success. I worked with that program in St. Louis, Missouri, when I was working with the Urban League. And so I'm very familiar with Dress for Success. And yeah, it because a lot of people were coming in. We were training them to write resumes and to how to look for jobs, doing job search. So the Dress for Success was, if they landed an interview, we would style them.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a stylist, but that's what we would do. We would take them to the room and, show them this is your choices, and you could just go through there and pick what you like. And we will make sure that it's appropriate for your event. And so, yeah, I'm very familiar with Dress for Success. Yes.
See, that's great. That's great. It's so important. And then also those clothes they're reloved and they're not in a trash heap somewhere. They're not in a landfill. They're being reloved and reappreciated. So we're helping the planet as well.
Absolutely.
So now, Cassandra, can you please tell us how we can get in contact with you?
Well, right now, the website is being it's under construction right now, but you can contact me. My phone number is 214-531-5492, or you can reach me at 571-489-2547. And my email address is basic concepts with an S, LLC, number 8 at gmail.com.
Okay. And you guys know where you can find me at thestyletable.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, at the Style Table, on YouTube. It's at the Style Table LLC on YouTube. You can find this interview, great interview with Cassandra, and interviews with many other successful women. Please check us out. Bye.
Bye.